I don't have the optics figure range for that most recent race at Turfway Park, but back at Saratoga is 99 and 91, 97, 98, 95, 98, and today is 88 on the higher side. You know? It's just like it's a more reasonable spot for this horse to compete. Now, this horse still has to show up and run, but at least they're putting this horse like in a place. And I don't think the drop is as severe. It'd be kind of like the same thing if they had this horse like in for like 16 or something, then you'd be like, red flag city, but 50 kind of seems like if they want them, they can take them.
And then what do you make of the one?
I mean, the one is the one that could just be in trouble from a pace standpoint. It looks like in terms of the plot.
Yeah.
But kind of the same. I mean, he's not even getting that much class relief because he's running in those claiming races at Churchill Downs, which were a similar race par to today. 81 to 89 and still C plus B minus. So maybe one for underneath, but tough for a win contender.
Yeah.
I would probably say that the 5-1 is fair on the 10. Because we're pretty much drawing X's through this field, right?
Yeah, I mean, the way I kind of, from a handicapping standpoint, kind of played it. I was pretty confident the 11 was going to win last race, so I just counted doubles to the 10.
Okay.
And then the way I now look at it is I feel like that's the extent to which I'm going to kind of play it based on the odds moving forward. So in other words, not like starting again and kind of overdoing it. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things, and I know, like, obviously you're really good at the micro level stuff, and I am not. I'm kind of better at the bigger picture. Is I think Chris wrote about it quite a bit, and he's so right about it. And it's something that we all struggle to do: is making the race, whatever your opinion is of the race, kind of betting appropriately based on that.
Yeah.
And it's so simple, but it's so hard for most of us, including myself, to grasp. Like, that's what you need to do. Like, even if you have to write it out, like literally write it on a piece of paper. This is what I think is going to happen in the race. Then look at that and make your bets appropriately. And if you're not getting the value you want and you're not seeing what you need to see to kind of produce the desired result, you got to pass.
Right. Oh, well, I mean, you retweeted the Twin Spires thing, and I commented on it, but it's basically like what we're both saying in sort of two different ways is that's not really maximizing the opinion at all for as far as a bet, right? Because it's saying like I'm against, but I'm not playing as it's against. Even if it's underneath.
Right.
And then they play it both ways. It's like there's no, you're not betting that race right, where it's like, well, if you are against that horse and the horse that you like is a number that you think is fair, then just do a win bet. Or have it alive to a double, or whatever, like single it in whatever that pick 5 is, whatever. But it just doesn't make sense. And if you're against, then you're like, I'm playing against this horse to run off the board.
Right.
This is a favorite that's firmly against.
It's the same nonsense, so to speak, as kind of playing something quote unquote defensively. No, you never play something defensively because long term you will not win, period. You cannot do that. Either you have an opinion, you stick with it, or you don't. And at the point at which you're fluctuating and you have to quote unquote play defensively, you're done. Then don't do it. Then your opinion's not that strong.
Yeah, and I mean, I that's what obviously frustrates ITP, and he's been on like the endless wars as far as that goes. And then I mean, just as a public handicapper, you know, I put myself out there. I try to put myself out there like a lot and like take risks and spots like for those reasons, you know, to allow the public that is reading this information some knowledge as far as gambling, and then as far as this race being like, I'm willing to not be safe, right? Not willing to not play this horse underneath and, you know, come out with money or, you know, move on to the next. And that's hard to do because people like to, you know, I had the exacta, and you're like, oh cool, you had the, you know, the 4 to 5 over the 6 to, I'm like, oh, cool. You did it. You know, I don't know what value that's providing to, you know, to the public.
Well, I also think that like the public handicapping thing, the best thing a public handicapper can do, and there are people that do it well, so we're not like totally cynical. There are people out there that do it well. Andy Sterling does it great, even if you don't maybe care for his bedside attitude. Is it Jessica Paquette does well with it as well, is giving here, I'm going to give you information about a number of the horses, and you go, you know, kind of make your own conclusion about it. That's what a public handicapper should be doing. Not saying go play this, you know, this chalked out exacta, or, you know, I'm going to bet on 10 different horses to win, or box 6 horses of exacta. It should be, I'm going to give you, like you do, you give so much in-depth information on each horse, and nobody's saying like, you know, you're not going to ever put out like, here's my trifecta bet every single race, or here's the 3 horses I like in order every single race, because that doesn't do anything. Who cares? That doesn't mean anything.
Right. So, but you know how many times I've been asked to do that? Like every time, you know, oh, can you do this? No, I won't, because I can't, one, I'm doing this so far in advance, like, I don't have scratches, I don't have a board, like, I'm not going to tell somebody to bet something, you know, I don't have all the pieces, like, that's not going to be valuable either. Like, the information's good, the people that are playing can, you know, tie their own shoes at that point, you know? We've got you this far, like, now make a decision, because there are, like, you know, to your first point, like, there are so many ways to play that, like, you know, I might suggest, like, a trifecta or whatever, for example, and then the way that the race, the board, the track profile, a couple scratches in there, the trifecta is not the right way to play that race, you know? Exactly. A cold exacta is, you know, or, you know, whatever, but my hands are tied at that point.
Right, and that's the best. They're literally taking away one of the best aspects of horse racing, which is there's so many different kinds of wagers that you can find the right wager for your opinion. Mm-hmm. So whatever opinion you have about a race, including keying a horse if you need to, 3rd and 4th, or 4th, or 5th, and even in the you know, super
Woodbine
super high 5 situation. So there's literally the possibilities are almost literally endless, and like TVG's giving a, you know, pick 4 every single time, or a pick 5 every single time. I would love for once them to say, there's no value in this. I'm not playing a pick 5. I'm not playing a pick 4 because it doesn't make sense to me. I don't like the sequence. Well, instead of like forcing yourself into one type of wager.
Well, I think a lot of it is that's what they're being told to do, and so it's like, that's what I'm doing, you know? Where like me, who is like anti-authoritarian, like, you know, grew up in a punk rock DIY scene, like, is like, why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm gonna push back on that idea, and you tell me why it's better, and if it is, I'll do it, and if it isn't, then like, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, you know?
Hey, right. Hey, listen, conformity's great if it's right.
Correct. Yeah. You accept, oh, you have a good reason for giving out a pick 4 in every race. I'll hear you out. And if you're, you know, if that's right, then yes. If it isn't, then like, I'm not just going to blindly say yes, because, you know, and in some ways that is detrimental to me, because I would probably have more work by playing a little bit nicer, but it'd be work I wouldn't feel good about doing. So, you know, there's a trade-off. Jimbo's typing in here, speaking of playing against horses, how do you guys feel about exchange wagering? And then another comment, yeah, the TVG higher ups like for the analysts to give multi-race wagers because it keeps the viewing audience motivated to keep watching. Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, I think that there's that value to it. But that's why so many TVG analysts, multi-race tickets, and with the single. Interesting. I don't follow that much because I've never really watched TVG. I've never had a subscription. I've really only seen like clips here and there. So I don't follow their tickets enough to know what percentage ends with the single. That's interesting. We're going to the gate here at Oaklawn, and then we'll circle back to the exchange wagering. My first opinion is I'm against it. Looks like it's raining now.
Visibility is poor.
Yeah, it's so foggy. It's hard to tell, but it looks like there's more movement in the fog. It's kind of wonky out there. It's definitely not sunny. No, not always sunny in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
It's always sunny in Philadelphia.
Apparently. All right, they're off. Oh, these are going to be really not fun races to do trip notes for. Oof. I mean, sometimes it's harder to see stuff, like especially from the break. But then if it is that kind of track profile where horses aren't really passing, then at least you don't have like a lot of horses moving and trouble and things like that. So a little bit of a trade-off. The 1, 3, and 5, I have the plot pulled up, are forwardly placed. The 10 is right outside that pair, up close to the pace. Went pretty quick, 22. Not as fast as I've seen some of the races today. 3's out of there, backing up. 5 still up close. The 4 is tracking. 6 looks like, is that the 6 on the inside, I think? Losing ground. Some horses are trying to run on. Looks like it's going to come down to 5 and 10, though, at this point. Who's this from the back? 8? Looks like it's going to be a 5, though. And then 8 might get up into the mix.
I think the 10 moved a little prematurely there into that pace and just wasn't good enough.
Yeah. Being wide, it might have been a different scenario if they drew the rail. Just being kind of inside speed but it's hard to see too, like what happened at the start. I don't know if that horse broke slow and then kind of had to rush up. I will find out later, either today or tomorrow morning. We'll go to Fairgrounds 3 real quick. The 6 is favored, who in terms of the plot looks legit, but is coming off a layoff from Louisiana Downs. So yeah, I'm not crazy about that actually. I feel like they're not sending their best here on Saturday. Yeah, this is kind of not good. These super long layoff lines. And now they're going to run here for, yeah, no. Big NL on this horse. Especially because they're going to have to take pressure from the 1. The 7 and the 2 are also basically in quadrant 1. It's a fire speed rate. I know the horse looks good on the plot, but I mean, just at a short price, it's not great. Yeah, 1 warming up. Looks like they're going to kind of stick it to... Is the 1 able to clear? Does the 6 have to go? 6 probably has to be on or near the lead. Turn this down a little bit. Another horse that I don't like, a lot of layoff lines. Yeah, the one and the other thing I don't like about the 1 is this barn was really hot in the first couple weeks of the meet, and so the fact that this horse didn't get a start then could be a little bit of a negative. Who else in this race? Who's not terrible? The 5? The 4 and the 5 look like they're going to probably get the trip, right? The 5 is the better price. 4 is currently 7-2. I think I would prefer, I mean, it just in terms of price, 5. Yeah. I mean, the 4, they're cutting back to a sprint. They did that here. Route, sprint. The 5 at least has some current form. 3rd start of the form cycle. Maybe can be a little bit closer to the pace today after that slog last time. Who else? The 7. 2nd off, coming back in 19 days. Just needed to see a little bit more from that one. The trainer of the 7 is the same as the 5. Yeah.
Another positive is Trackmaster's top selection is a 6.
Whew. Is that a selection for that they have to do every race, or they specifically selected this race and that particular horse?
No, they do every race.
Okay, God, that was.
I think it might be on a couple of. It's the most ridiculous analysis you've ever seen. It's just, I mean, it's the most surface level analysis. So anything Trackmaster has on top is not on top.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so my feeling on exchange wagering is this: is I think that the parimutuel system is probably the greatest thing as far as betting, and it's unique to horse racing, right? Why would we want to take that away when it's the only thing that's bad about it is the technology? Like, let's improve the technology. It's not the system that's bad. It's the technology that's happening with this late money coming in and, all that shit. If that's sorted, that's going to fix a lot of the problems instead of being like, let's just try, let's just scrap it. Let's realize, do you know what I'm saying? Am I making a point here? Like, we have a system that is good. We can make the improvements to try to make it better. If it still sucks, then yeah, let's try something new. But I don't think we've been able to make the right changes to the parimutuel system. Time bans on this one, which is kind of interesting. I don't know. How do you feel on it?
Yeah, and I think the parimutuel has always been a great invention and continues to be. It's the takeout of the technology.
Yes.
That are the two biggest deterrents by far.
Right.
The idea that you're kind of playing against everybody else, I mean, I think makes a lot of sense. It's just not done properly like everything else.
Yeah.
It's either the technology is terrible. I mean, it should be penny pricing. There should be, obviously no breakage. The takeout should be lower, and you modernize the system, and you've got something awfully good.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Listen, in lieu of not being able to get there, I mean, maybe exchange wagering does become the kind of more dominant platform in lieu of being able to kind of accomplish those other two things.
Thanks for the feedback. You're welcome. That was a good question. It's a good discussion. I mean, if there were both, you're obviously, you're gonna find some value, but I think a lot of people are just kind of looking at it as like the easy fix, which a lot of people want to do, instead of realizing like what we have and make it better. All right, a little bit slog on the 1, but they're gonna send anyways. 6 also a little bit sloggy out there, but maybe a good position for that horse sitting free behind the duel. 5 maybe a little bit slow again out of the gate. Now stuck wide. Hopefully they're going fast. Pretty fast for this place. Comes the 4. I'm gonna pick these guys up. Nope. A little bit too much to do. Well, I don't know. Race isn't over yet. Could make it interesting. Got him.
You got there.
Got him.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. I thought Trackmaster had his 1 time.
I know. Luckily, the 6 dropped anchor in the stretch. Although the 4 got bet down. I mean,
big
another
time.
frustrating thing, right?
2-1. Yeah.
I mean, listen, you don't take 2-1 on that horse. 7-2, you probably do.
Yeah.
You know, that's what sucks about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimbo's totally right. I mean, we just saw it right there, right? I mean, it's nuts. It absolutely has to be cut off before the race starts, and there's no reason why they can't do it. There's no reason why they can't completely cut it off, wait a minute and a half, and have at it. It's absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
With Jimbo.
The horse is going in the gate. The board is either on the center of the track, on the feed, on whatever betting platform you're looking at, and when those horses are in the gate and when they cross the wire, that number is exactly the same. And everything, every dollar, nothing moves.
Yeah, and just even for the perception, again, that everything's on the up and up. Like, if you don't know any better, and you don't know the reasons why, and you make a wager on a horse race, and a horse you think you're getting 5-1 on, and it wins at 3-1 or 5-2, that's really hard to explain to somebody how that happens.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for it. It's not like you bet an NFL game at -110, and then by the time it's over, you get -105, or it moves to -115. Like it's nuts.
But then, what do you do when a horse acts up in the gate? I mean, in theory, by the time if the horse acts up in the gate, either as far as if the pools are closed and all that, yeah, how would that work? If there was like a late scratch, I assume that's what you're asking, right? If there's a late scratch. Super good question. Who has the answer? Or not scratched? Well, if the horse is not scratched, then I mean that's like the same thing as like trouble in a race, Yeah, I mean if the horse acts up in the gate and they don't scratch, you typically I don't know. I mean you have to be pretty quick on the draw to cancel that bet, right? If they end up running. I don't know. It's a good question. It is definitely something that would have to be answered with here's what we do and why. Oaklawn Park Race 5. One of the races that I wrote up for Circles and Squares. Throwback angle on the Circles and Squares for this horse.
Throwback.
This is old school angle.
Old school.
Process of elimination. Just X all the reds. X all the red, or with the 4 and the 11. The red being as far as the 2, the layoff, and then as far as the 10, we have a C. So the 4 doesn't have any red. no red grades, no red keywords, recency. The 11 is the same thing. Recency, no red grades, no red keywords. Speed figures fit on par. As far as trip, looks as good as any other horse in this field. The 4 is currently 16-1. The 11 is 5. So depends on how people want to play it there. Let's look at each horse individually.
Pretty keen on the 11 as well. Not thrilled again with the price, but definitely also keen on the 11.
Yeah, I mean the thing with the 11 is, could be a little bit further back because it is the surface change. As far as being like a closer over this course. Let me look at just in terms of trip. To where it kind of seems like the 4 might be able to have a little bit more tactical speed.
And then what do you make of the 6, who's taking a ton of money off a 20-1 morning line?
I mean, here's pretty much why. The horse is coming off 2 wins, right? Improving speed figures. I mean, again, I just went, the horse got a favorable trip last time out. That was a new top effort. The horse could be a little bit over the top. Ran an 89 last time. The horse is never, the 6 here. I mean, this horse is a 5-year-old now, or 6-year-old now, because that race was last December. And that was the fastest speed figure the horse has ever posted. Again, it's kind of splitting hairs a little bit, but, so it could just be a little bit over the top. Hammering the 4. Why not?
Why not?
I mean, the 4 ran the same speed figure 2 back. And has run, similar fast races in the past. For the same barn.
Yeah, this is one of those races, too, where you look at kind of what you're getting for 8-5 versus what you're getting for 15-1.
Yeah. I mean, the rider change makes sense. They probably weren't happy with the trip last time out. They were on hold, rating inside behind horses. I don't know if they want to have this horse either maybe even a little bit more forwardly placed or wide. Probably wide. Probably outside horses would be my guess. Which, I mean, could happen because you have the speed in this field that's drawn outside with the 8, the 7, 8, 9. So if those horses from the outside go, the 6 comes over as well. I don't know if the 4 will be inside or not, but at least there could be some options to maybe get outside a little bit.
It's interesting. Diadora has a number of scratches on this card today.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of that, but could be happenstance.
It's probably the weather. The horse doesn't like the off track.
It's harder to spot with bad weather.
Yeah, yeah. Vic is 7, 8, 10, 6. Let's look at those horses. Start with the heirloom. Plotty. Stalked behind duel, lacked room at a crucial time. Oh, so he thinks this horse had a little bit of trouble. These are the kind of trouble trips that people can kind of get sucked into a little bit. where there is trouble, but kind of overall, it's not as significant as it would appear. The horse is just a little bit one-paced and kind of creates their own trouble. Um, I don't have the sound up, so I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but kind of seen that a lot. I mean, that horse could win. Doesn't really seem to have any edge here. It's pretty cold on the board, off 3-1 morning line with the scratches. And we'll look at that 8. This horse, the last time was the time for this horse. That was kind of the right spot. Hartman being live, so another horse that could be a little bit over the top as well. Paired up big speed figures in those last 2 races, comes back in 3 weeks. I mean, somewhat encouraging that they don't drop the horse, but if there is a little bit of regression and this horse takes pressure, could fade. Doesn't look like it has that much finish. 9 could have trouble because the 9's got to kind of clear outside of the 7 and the 8 as far as a trip for a horse, a lot of red that likes to be lone. That is a no finish type horse. So currently 10-1. So I mean, that probably seems not going to knock the horse too hard at that point. That's pretty much all the horses taking. Oh, the 6. Okay, we talked about. It's pretty much everybody, right? 10 I didn't talk about. 10's just always slog. I don't love this horse, but I wouldn't. How does this horse win? Pretty much with favorable trips. Not terrible. Trackmaster's on the 6.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is a big step up in class for the 6 too, as far as that last race to this spot. So kind of an underlay there.
Huge underlay.
Yeah.
Well, the 4 is certainly the play at 15-1, no doubt.
Yeah, it's kind of a quieter Saturday. Don't you think?
It is.
In the racing world?
You get a weather, depending on where you are, is a little challenging, and yeah, racing not that interesting. It's a little dreary,
Yeah.
Cancellations. So yeah.
No seed. Anyway. We got no seed.
No seed. Gulfstream's got no seed. Seed off. Aqueducts, for whatever reason, got rid of the Prestone inner. So, that's not interesting anymore. I mean,
they did?
Of all the things to get rid of, the Prestone inner, that was the place to be.
Why did they do that?
I don't know. I don't know. Sean might know. I have no idea. Still love that thing.
Mansion 1, so good to see you live capping with optics. Yeah, I've been back trying to be consistent the last couple weeks. I did a live stream yesterday with John Doyle. Today, POTUSCapper. So I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent with it. But thank you. Good to know people are liking it when it's there. Money's starting to come in a little bit on this 4. A little bit. Wait, what's going on? We have an ITP thing that I'm just getting caught up at. As far as the pick 6.
So Josh Allen, also phenomenal quarterback, has been sending it in on the 4, and that's causing the odds drop.
Oh, that's all
Josh
you.
has thrown his big contract around.
I would have never got that. I don't know anything about sports ball.
Sports ball. Yeah. He's really good at throwing that football right in the net.
Like with a stick?
With a stick, yeah.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Like highlight, but no net.
That's right.
I just sent that to you. That thread.
No seed.
It's still, wait, there's one more. This is a new one. Can you understand what's happening there?
I don't. I'm just trying to listen to it now.
He's saying they didn't even make the guarantee.
It sounds like they didn't make the guarantee and didn't seed the pool with what was the guaranteed amount, which has happened before. That's what it sounds
Okay,
like.
so they didn't have to put money in because the new money went up to the total. Oh, I see what's happening. So in this photo, the new money wagered is 900,008, right? And so that means that they're not putting the 250 in because it's not a seed and it met the guarantee, right? So then the next photo, so the photo next to it is false because that's adding 250 to the 908, which that 250 it shouldn't be in there. So that's the deceptive part.
Yeah, oops, $250,000.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big oopsie.
That's an oopsie.
So people were betting thinking that the pool got over, I don't know when this, maybe it did by the time Gulfstream ran the race, but as far as this photo's taken, the pool would have been under $1 million. And they're advertising that that's probably why they want that number. They're like, we got over $1 million. It's like, no, you fell short, my dude. You don't get to, it's a better number for them to brag, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and listen, there's enough people that are confused by the fact that, when they say that there's a quote unquote guaranteed pool at a given amount of money, that means jack shit when they don't get to the guaranteed amount. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. They say it's guaranteed pool, 500,000. Well, okay. I mean, if it's over 500,000, you're not adding any benefit for me. So stop advertising that as if it means anything.
Right.
Like, stop telling people that's people who don't know any better think, oh, there's lots of money in this pool. That means I will win more. And that's what they're getting at, that they're purposely doing that because they can't be that stupid. So they're purposely doing that.
Right. That's to my point why they wanted to say it got over $1 million. It's like, no, it's not that number. Like, stop advertising it being that just to advertise. TVG showed a graphic that said carryover 250. Yeah, but that was a guarantee. Yeah, oops. Emily, who's the other person talking, getting in your way? Why not break down some races? Not getting in my way. We're just we're having a chat. We've been breaking down races. Relax. Everything's good. We did this race. It's kind of slow. We're just going on Fairgrounds and Oaklawn Park. They're going to the gate right now. We'll flip over to Fairgrounds very soon.
Listen, nobody puts me and Emily in the corner.
we got 4 minutes at Fairgrounds. That's a world of time. We'll add another 4 minutes on there. They have a little bit of drag. We got this. You want a sneak peek at that BTL 3 coming up at Fairgrounds. Both the 11 and 10 slog. The 10 we knew. 8's going to try to wire this field again. 9, put some pressure on this horse. Come on. 2's like, I'll make some noise. 2 should be up there anyways. All right, 5 stalking. 5, get up in there. 2, what are you doing? You should be a quad 4 anyways. 11 early move, pretty swift there. 23 and change for that opening quarter. The 4 is down inside again, on hold. So we'll see how that turns out. 8 getting a little bit of separation. I do not want to see a 49 come up. That would be 46. Love it. All right, 4, do the damn thing. 10 starting to move. 2's done. 11 early inside out move and 8. 10's got run too, especially with that race flow. Those fractions.
4's got hearts.
Yeah, come on, 4. If this 8 doesn't back up, there should be an investigation into both the track profile and this Chris Hartman cheater.
Yep.
Well,
oh, he's gone. Great run from the 4, though. I mean,
yeah. 4 and 11. 2, 3. All right. What are you gonna do? I think that's like the fastest race that happened at Oaklawn Park all season.
yeah.
These the early fractions. All right. Fairgrounds. The 3. It's favored. Fuck. That sucks. That ruins everything. Sometimes those obvious trips. BTL last out. This field kind of stinks. The race was gonna set up for that horse too. Speaking of Chris Hartman, looks like a put over here on the 1 as well, but this horse is getting extremely bet down. Because this horse has some back races. This horse has hidden form here. On to Oaklawn race 8. Go Mr. Bigley. We have a Mr. Bigley and a Miss Bigley. Isn't that on the same card? Or is that supposed to be a Mrs. Bigley? Yeah, it's pretty much a pass because both those horses are getting bet down, the 1 and the 3. Sleda Anita is into the mix as well.
Anything good at the once?
Oh, who's once? Does that Santa Anita? Or 25 minutes. Race 1, the 5-1 at 3-1. They're off at Fairgrounds. Chris Hartman, wire to wire, state to state, about to happen. The 11's going to make a try. The 1's done. The 3 is closing, but they left a lot of work for this horse to do. This could be bombs away here. 13-1 and 22-1.
Be a healthy try there.
Yeah, even with the favorite in third. Yeah, that was just, I mean, those horses just tripped. All right. All right, so I need to watch this race. They try at Oaklawn 73.80 for 50 cents.
Yeah, I mean, with the chalk on top, it was a decent exacta too. I think, all things being equal.
19 bucks?
That was all.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in a normal world, that horse backs up. It's like wire to wire winners all over the place. All right, race 6. Let's check out the board here. So the five is favored. This pace looks super fast. Even though it's a lower contention, it's a 100 speed rate. It's pretty high. So even though the 5 looks good, might be a little bit vulnerable. All right, let's go through this field. We'll start with the 1. The 1 looks okay on the plot. It's quarter for you.
It's a quarter and it's consistent. I mean, kind of runs the same race every time.
Yeah. Looked like a prep coming off the layoff 2 back. Good gallop out, cold barn. And then was extra wide last time out. So, an improving pattern. Ooh. 20 to 1. All right, we'll keep that horse in the mix. All right. The 2 is coming off a layoff. Speed figures are a little bit slow. Class is a little bit light. Kind of looks like a pass. I mean, maybe underneath because of the race shape, but also that big square is also a little bit flattered because of the synthetics. Big on Broadway, double layoff lines is a little bit 75, 72. I guess those are pretty much in range. It's a 3, 37. Wait a minute here. Oops. Touch something. Cancel? Okay. Didn't lose anybody. All right. Let's look at this 3. Because I don't necessarily mind the layoff in this case because she's a lightly raced. Last year was running as a 3-year-old, so could have upside. It's not the longest layoff. This is Arkansas bred race, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, once the horse doesn't do shit at Churchill Downs, they're like, we pretty much have to wait till Oaklawn Park, right? To run a reasonable condition for a state bred runner. And these races here, 75, 72, early in the juvenile season, they're kind of on par with some of these other horses.
Yeah, I mean, this horse's initial maiden race was as fast, if not faster, than any other horse in this field, effectively.
Yeah. And, if there is a move forward, then, yeah. The 4, probably going to need a race. A little bit slow. And a little bit slow. The 5, certainly, I mean, speed figure wise, that's why this horse is getting bet, right? We got an ouchie here. A lot of layoff lines. favorite that could win, but I don't know. Oh my god, the 6 is the better version. The 6 is like the faster, more established version of the 3. Obviously a shorter price, but far more consistent in terms of speed figures. Second off the layoff, so it has a little bit of recency. Was against the flow. I mean, if nothing else, the presence of the 6 could hurt the 5.
Yeah, and the 6 should be favored over the 5.
I don't think it's not gonna be.
Yeah.
I haven't got to the 9 yet, but they like the 9 a little bit too. Where are we at here? 7 looks slow. The 8 ran a top effort last out, best of the speed. Another horse that's probably gonna be in trouble with those other horses in the race. The 9 getting bet because people love Cox.
Yes, they do.
I mean, could get the trip if nothing else, with the fast pace. But 3-1.
Yeah, it's a lot of horses running back off the Archie bred stakes race.
Yeah. The 10 kind of has some improving form. 58, 68, 70. Does this horse have another move forward? Or is this just a slow poke? No. Kind of slow. Okay. Same thing. A little bit slow. Layoff. Ooh. This is the horse that you want to use for your underneath key. The 12. Don't you think?
Yeah, I was looking at the 12 before we hopped on, and was thinking something similar, just in terms of value underneath.
Because they're gonna have the fast pace. Even if you're slog, which this one's most likely is gonna be, the fast pace should be able to drop back and make a run. Might have too much to do if the track profile being what it is, but yeah, look at the 6 on the plot. Holy shit. Didn't even see that horse at first. Way up here. Yeah, 6 could be speed of the speed, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the 6 to me makes more sense than the 5 of the 2.
Yeah, I think this is like a legitimate against the 5. Nancy's going 5, 5, 9, 6, 8. This should be like a 5, get the 5 to run out of the number. Right?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. No, that's 6 to 5. That's a toss, complete toss. Beats you.
Yeah, because you got the 6, 12 underneath. The 9 can. I mean, 9's not great value, but in there, the 1 and the 3. So you got those bombs.
Yeah, listen.
6, 9, 6, 9, 6, 9.
Be faster out front than the 5, so you don't take the 5.
Can the 1 win?
I mean, runs the same. Runs literally almost the same type of race every time. So yeah, listen, if he's going to be probably a little further back than normal, I would think, given the kind of pace scenario, right? So just naturally, given the kind of rest of the speed, so you might get a good trip, kind of, more of a pressing trip.
I don't know if that horse can win. Definitely think the 1 can win here. Ooh. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I mean, you just get another move forward and just sits the right trip. What about the 7? 7 looks like the 7 looks like she's gonna have to be in that first flight.
Yeah, it's a lot of horses that want to be on or near the lead.
I mean, she has been able to run from off the pace. The 7 gets in the mix as well. I mean, at 46-1, this horse can get in there. Has these races. I guess that's hee-haw, but the only race at Oaklawn Park, I mean, going back, maiden days, whatever, then had a layoff, so it doesn't really count. But that one Oaklawn Park race was a higher level allowance. So getting a drop today. Barn change. Maybe hangs around for an underneath. No. Does the 9? I think the 9 has to move up into the win spot. Unfortunately, with ditching the 5.
Yeah, of the 3, the 5 makes the least amount of sense between 5, 6, and 9. For sure.
Yeah, like for a top spot. So like 6 to best of the speed. 9 should have the class and should be able to get the trip. I mean, I guess I could see using the 1 in the top spot. Just don't know if that horse is quite good enough. I'm kind of leaning more 6-9 on top. I know it's not the most exciting, and then those bombs are underneath. 1, 3, 7. Somebody else. 12.
12, yeah.
No 5. Against. Big boy against.
But this is what you get at Oaklawn. You get kind of the fuller fields this time of year, especially when you're not getting it at other tracks, which is nice. You get the full fields. It's a full field of sleds, but it's a full field.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a race yesterday when John Doyle was on the stream that it was like a race that you would just love to play a trifecta in because the favorite was so bad. But there's only like 7 betting interests. And you're like, oh, wah. There's that. Somebody else. Is 6 sort of win or run out? Why is the 6 not taking that much money?
Yeah, you would really think that seems the logical one of the three, but
Based on your opinion of the 6 playing a teeny weeny 10-cent super, keying 6, 2, 9, 12. Oh, because this horse finished 10th last time. What it is.
yeah, let's to see bias.
And they know, so they think that the 5 is lead. This is the most excited bet I've made all day. Let's go. Action bet. I think this is a good action bet type race. I mean, if the 5 runs out, kind of using the 6 and 9 in there in those kind of anchor spots, and then bombs on the supporting cast. Yeah, I didn't use this horse, which that would be, but got to draw a line somewhere.
Yeah, listen, you can make a good. There's no bad opinions as far as finding a reason to use a lot of these bombs underneath, especially
Yeah.
in a race like this.
Who's the 10? No, I'm not using that. It's the 11. No, you're a casualty. Downside is I lose 60 cents. Yeah. I mean, I've spent 60 cents on worse. That's for sure.
Seems like there's been about an hour before this post.
Right?
A little Oaklawn sneaky drag.
Oh, I wonder if there was kind of weather or something. Well, we got a Santa Anita coming up. Race 2 in 2 minutes, so can kind of fast forward to that. Sorry. The 5 is currently favored. Seems to make sense. I thought the 4 hadn't improved, but kind of seems like a pass. At least it'll hold our interest a little bit until the it's 3 minutes to race 6 at Oaklawn. It does seem like they did kind of drag that a little bit, didn't they? It's just getting tired, getting late in the day. What's going on?
I think they're looking forward, or maybe they're finishing out the Southland Greyhound matinee.
Oh, is that the track there?
Both in Arkansas.
Hmm. But is it still there?
Southland, yeah. I think Southland's still there. In West Memphis, Arkansas. One of a handful of Greyhound parks still around.
Frost has a sister that's still racing in Iowa.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do they keep in touch?
No, I didn't. I was looking up I was doing some pedigree research on Frost, and I was like, oh, who's this? I clicked on the info, and I was like, oh, running at Iowa.
There's a sister you didn't know you had.
Wow. Yeah.
How do you take the news?
A younger one. I haven't told him yet. He's sleeping right now, so I don't know. Maybe he's pretending to sleep, and he's like, "What? This is the money on the 6 is so weird. It's now up to 9-2. It's either the public it's either like they know that this horse isn't gonna run, or the public is like that 10th place finish, and the 5 is the better. I can't quite decide. And I'm glad I used the 9 now, because the 9 being what was just 4-1. That's usable.
One's taking a little bit of money down to 12-1.
Yeah. Oh, you guys did a jinx.
Yeah. Same wavelength.
All right, they're finally gonna run it. Well, I shouldn't say that. They're getting close. Santa Anita's in the gate. What's gonna happen? Trying to see who's gonna win, the gate draw or the Santa Anita race. I think it's gonna be the gate at Oaklawn. 47 for a half at Santa Anita. Good God.
Like a New York turf race.
Yeah. Victor Espinoza's. Oh, I guess that horse isn't the chalk now, but O'Neill's trying to go wire to wire 2 races in a row. All right. Oaklawn time. Pretty good starts. 2 was a little slog. 6, no speed. What up? 5 is just relaxed out there. Come on, high speed rate. Bunched up field. Don't let this horse separate, you weirdos. Florent on the 9 is doing a disaster right now. Three's got run on the inside, but it looks like this 5 is going to hold on for top spot. One's coming over the top. Fuck! That's annoying.
That was like a Arkansas bred secretariat there.
Yeah, I mean, if the 9 or the 6 wins, I hit the try because the 1 and the 3 ran second and thirds. Those are those bombs, but
yeah, right bombs, wrong shot.
Fuck. Oh, what the hell happened? Why did that 6 get out of the gate?
So what was that 5-3-1 or 1-3?
I'm trying to see. Three one. Yeah, it would have been good.
You gotta stick to your guns though. You don't like the chalk, you don't use it.
No regrets on the bet. I mean,
yeah,
at all.
But very good call on the 1 and the 3.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward on the plot, but try to get cute. Maybe a little too cute.
John Teeth Court. I love that.
5-3-1. I've never heard that nickname. Is that a nickname for him? Anyone?
He's got a healthy set of chompers.
Oh, is that where it comes from?
I don't know. I just like it. I like it, Sean. I like it.
I just want to know if you made it up or if it's been something, because he's been riding for like what, 100 years?
Yeah, 120.
I think Ellis is still older, but
it's close.
Google image search. I made it up. Okay, all right. Then you get all the credit. You get all the credit. What do you think this pays for 50 cents? Triple.
Really tough to say because of the kind of the depth of that field.
Yeah.
In your case, I hope it doesn't pay much. Just so you don't
I know.
feel badly.
I know. Fuck. 196.
196 with the chalk. So yeah.
It's pretty good still. Shit.
Yeah. What about the $24 place number on the 3?
Yeah.
Chalk winning.
I have to watch that. I have to see what happened there. Oops. This way. Well, I was like, before I said, when I asked you, I'm like, if it pays 200, I'll be sick. So since it didn't.
Yeah, so you feel fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 196 is fine. 200 is sickening.
Yeah. That was like the number in my head. I'm like, if it's 200, I'm going to be sick.
Hey, listen, you could have played the chalk defensively.
Yeah, probably could have. That's probably a scenario that if you do have like the trifecta will pays, maybe you look at. But then I end up buying a lot of combinations.
Right.
It's like
Well, that's the problem.
it completely waters down that opinion. It's like
Right.
it's not
That's the
like I
problem
bet
with
it's not like I bet a lot into the race, but if I'm right, like I'm hitting the trifecta close to 10 times. With if either the 6 or the 9.
Yeah, and if you do it over time, if the mentality is I'm going to kind of would call it a backup or a defensive bet every time, it's kind of like doing the side bets of Vegas table games.
Right.
You just get, the the takeout's gonna get you.
Right. Yeah, it's like I'd rather be right, and then it's probably like 3 or 4 times as much, wouldn't you say? Is that a little too greedy to say
It
it's like 500-600?
No, I don't think it's greedy. I think you want to be paid correctly for an opinion like that you need, you know,
I'm just
to pretty big long shots around second and third. You want to be paid correctly. So, for that opinion, if the opinion is that there's three horses potentially you could key on top, you feel like are appropriate to win the race. You really can make an argument why you don't like one of them. Then no, you can't use it.
yeah. Yeah, because then what it would come down to is hitting it. Let's say it's 400, right? And it's 10 times. You're like, that's great. That's a nice day for me. Um, versus if I start playing a lot of combinations, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I hit 200 for 50 cents because I have a million combinations.
I
Where
think it's
I'd
the
rather I'd
difference.
rather have my opinion be what it is and get some fucking racing luck and you know
Sure,
4K
but I
this
think it
bitch.
also
Call it a
gets at
day.
whether you're like, are you a daily player or a once every couple months player? Because I think a once every couple months player would have to look at it slightly differently. But if you're going to do it over time, and you're looking at these things day in and day out, then you have to be consistent and stick with your guns. Because again, it'll kill you long term.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to fit your opinion. If the opinion is this is an overbet favorite. Now, listen, if the one is 50 to 1 and the three is 25 to 1, maybe you'd play a little. You, all joking aside, you do get, all right, I don't love this favorite, but I don't want to kind of miss out on, some much better payout as a result of getting a little too cute. But listen, easier said than done after the race, but you stick to your guns, you turn the page, and you get the next one.
Right. Okay. So coming up, it's like all these races are basically at the same time right now. Oaklawn is 17 to race 7. Fairgrounds is about 30. Santa Anita is 21. So go here first. Yeah, okay. I gotta move on. I gotta stop doing the what if. All right, so this looks like a good full field here in this race.
Santa Anita 7's a full field, yeah.
I know, I saw that. There's one scratch, but still, it's more than 5. All right, maiden claiming race. The number 1 is currently the favorite. Makes me a little bit nervous of the slog from the rail as the favorite. But it is stretching out, so... I mean, this horse is fine, but... Let me see something. Took money on debut. Took money on debut at this level, and there was a long shot last out. Yeah, so it's probably in the right spot. The rest of these horses kind of just stink. I mean, I guess this race on the 6. These dirt races on the 6. That horse is 22? What? You see what I'm looking at?
Which one?
So on the 6, Tiger Moon, like the last race at Gulfstream Park, like I don't, just to see whatever. But these 2 races on the main track in Kentucky at Keeneland and Churchill Downs, where the horse ran a 73 and a 70, is like just as fast as the 1 and has the route race. So just the form is a little bit dirtied up as this horse gets the class drop.
Right, obviously a big drop, right. And anytime you see like a horse beating that many lengths, regardless of the class drop, people are going to ignore it.
Yeah. The speed figures are right there. I mean, it's 23-1. It's kind of worth keeping a watch on. Though that barn tends to bet, so I don't know. That might be another thing. The 8 has also ran that faster race last out, but it's a little bit soft in terms of class. There's this horse, 10-1. I guess you can. It's probably, I don't know. Still not quite a win contender, but make a little bit of a case there. Same thing with the 7. Maybe that horse has another. Wait a second. Yeah, I mean, Brad Cox probably isn't giving anything away. This horse just probably stinks. The 7.
Yeah, I mean,
That horse looks like a dud.
It's real low percentage connections as well. You don't necessarily on top of everything else.
Hey, they're top connections at Indiana Grand. I know that much.
Yeah,
that would be that horse. This horse at Indiana Grand would be we'd be looking at the favorite right now.
Yeah.
Do you like the case on the 10? This is sort of a case that you made on a horse earlier.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think it's another version. I would say, it's a kind of similar version of what we were talking about with the 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's the big class drop. Certainly, this one has early speed.
Mm-hmm.
I think which could be an asset as well.
I like this horse. I like this. I like this horse. I like it. I feel like this is almost like a prep, like for this meet. In some ways. Ten was bet a little bit in the doubles. Ooh, good eye. I mean, 5-1 morning line, so that kind of makes sense. But maybe that's why we might have to see if that horse drifts down a little bit. But Vic is 11-9-1-8. Meh. I'm like meh on both these horses. What's up with the 9? I mean, the 9 had a bomb, sure. That barn has sent out some runners lately. What's up with these 4 scratches? Scratched on November 10th at Churchill, sprinting. December 3rd here at a route. Seems like they want to... What do they want to do with this horse? Do they even know what they want to do with this horse? I don't know. There's some negatives there. I mean, a big price, but kind of weird. 1 of. Okay. And then 8. 8 is the dud.